Good morning, learners. Today we are going to talk about starches and vegetables. First, we are going to define the term carbohydrates, which is a starch. Starch is a type of carbohydrate. It is used as a staple food in the diet of most people, and it makes the bulk of a meal. What are the sources of starch? Starches are found in tubers, in roots, in cereals, in farinaceous dishes like rice and pasta, and in plantains. Then we are going to talk about the factors that you consider when selecting starch as a food. Okay, one, you should see that the starch or the food that you are going to buy is clean and free from soil and stones. The second point to consider is that it is free from signs of pests and diseases. And the third point that you're going to consider when selecting a starch food is that it should be well shaped, farmed, and not damaged by harvesting equipment or even the weather. Then the next thing we are going to talk about is the time available for preparation as a factor also to consider the availability, that is if it is available in the market or in your local supermarket or greengrocer. The, the second, whatever, not the second one, but the next point you're going to consider is the season. That is it available in the season. Then the personal preference you are going to use to determine whether you are going to buy that starch or not. The next topic we are going to talk about is preparation, production, and presentation of starch dishes. Okay, one, that is the pre-preparation. In pre-preparation, there is grating, slicing, dicing, chopping, stocking, and then how about then you sort your um, your vegetables or the type of starch that you have purchased. Okay, so the following are the methods that can be used to cook or to make a dish out of starch. One is boiling, stewing, roasting, grilling, frying. Then we have baking, braising, baking. Sorry, I've repeated that, but also baking, steaming. That is the method you're going to use in preparation of the starch dishes that you have purchased. Okay, how do you present starches? Starches should be presented in such a manner. One, you clean the service, whatever equipment, the equipment that you are going to use to serve that particular dish that you have prepared. Make sure that the dish that you have or the service equipment that you have chosen is the appropriate one. Then the food should not overflow in the equipment that you are going to serve it in. And also, you should use appropriate garnishes when presenting starch dishes. Okay, all starch dishes should be served at their correct temperatures. The portion sizes should be correct, and then you serve using with suitable accompaniments. How do you prepare, produce, and present starch dishes? For example, we are going to talk about rice. An example of the rice that we are going to dish we are going to talk about is pilaf rice or braised rice or steamed rice or fried rice or buttered rice. Then with that whatever rice dish you are going to, it is going to be accompanied by a potato accompaniment which can be a mashed whatever potatoes or sauteed potatoes, croquet potatoes or chipped potatoes together which have been garnished with parsley or coriander. Okay, what are the qualities of a starch dish? One, when you consider the points that you are going to consider to know that a starch dish has been finished is the doneness. Is it well cooked? We remember when we talked about doneness, there are three stages of doneness. That is the rare done, then the medium done, and the well done. Depending on the type of starch, is it whatever done well? The second whatever point you are going to look at is the color of the starch dish. Is it appealing to the eye? Does it look whatever appetizing to a person who is being served in the hotel? The next whatever is the texture. The texture should be as desired by the customer. The flavor, the temperature. Is it at the correct whatever temperature? Normally you find that if food has been kept long in the kitchen, it normally goes cold and the customer normally requests the service staff to warm the food for them such that when it comes to the table, it is warm. Also, you can use whatever food warmers which keep the food warm at all times. Okay. You can also, there are whatever other means of keeping the food warm. You can use a microwave to make the food warm. Okay. Now, how do you also know that the starch is finished? The accompaniments, are they the proper accompaniments which you have used in your starch dish? And how do you present it to your customer? Okay. So now we have done starches. And under starches, we have seen the qualities, we have seen the nutritional value of starches, we have seen how you present starches in the table, how you prepare starches. We have seen also the different methods of pre-preparation of starch dishes and the factors to consider when purchasing any starch dish. Next, we are going to talk about vegetables. What are vegetables? The term vegetables include any edible part of any plant. Okay, that it can be the stem, the leaves, and any other part of the plant which is edible. Okay, how the classification of vegetables. Vegetables can be classified into roots, into tubers, into pods and seeds, into fruit vegetables, and under these I'm going to give examples. Under root vegetables, we have your carrots, we have your beetroots, we have your onions, we have radishes, we have garlic, we have ginger and arrowroots, and even cassavas. Most people know the difference between arrowroots and yam, but yam does not fall under roots, it falls under tubers. So the next classification you're going to give an example of is tubers. Under tubers, we have your cassava, your sweet potatoes, your yams, okay, which is otherwise known as the fufu, or in our local language, we call it kikwa. That is in Akamba name. I don't know what to call it in your language, but in our language in Kikamba, we call it kikwa. Then the next classification, which I'm going to give you examples of, is the pods and seeds. Here you have your green peas, you have your French beans, you have your tomatoes. Another example of pods or seeds is the cucumber. Then we have fruit vegetables. Under fruit vegetables, I'm going to give example of the green pepper, hot pepper, and your courgettes. Okay, so that is your classification of, of vegetables. The next, whatever classification I'm going to talk about is flower fruits. Under flower fruits, we have your cauliflower, you have your broccoli, you have your kales, you have your spinach. Okay, no, sorry, spinach falls under leafy vegetables. So under leafy vegetables, the examples are spinach, cabbage, lettuce, amaranth, otherwise known in Swahili as our terere. And then we have the nightshade, which is our managu. Then we have mrenda in our local language also. You can add that to the leafy vegetables. Under stems and shoots, we have your leeks, your celery, your asparagus, your bean sprouts, and any other sprouts, maybe fondengu. You have your sprouts, which is commonly used for those people who are vegetarians. They normally prefer those sprouts. Then the last whatever classification is your fungi, which is your mushroom. Any mushroom, which is we have the butter mushrooms, we have the shiitake mushrooms. Those ones fall under your mushrooms. What factors do you consider when selecting vegetables? One, clean and free from soil and stones. Two, they should be well shaped, firm, and not damaged by harvesting equipment. Four, they should be free from signs of damage from pests and diseases. Four, green vegetables